All right, welcome back to the Dorm Room to Boardroom podcast. Today we are filming episode 4 with a very special guest, Charlie. I will have you take it away.
Yeah, so today's guest, she runs her own staffing company, has done a lot of social media work, has over, I think, 18K on LinkedIn, which is crazy. So without further ado, Sheikha, how are we doing today?
All good, all good. So excited to be here, Charlie and Spyro. Thank you so much for having me on. Happy to chat with some current both Babson seniors, I am assuming.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
nice. It's crazy. Time goes fast. I was just there less than a year ago, so definitely can understand where you guys are at and how you may feel too.
Hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna start off with just a question about your backstory, where you grew up, and how you
Hmm.
ended up at Babson. Like you said,
Mhm.
you are a Babson alum. You just graduated, so just give us a little backstory and then how you ended up here
Yeah.
at Babson.
Of course. So I actually was born in Boston, but I grew up in New Jersey. But I had always like every year, every summer, go back to Boston, as I had family there. So it was like a second home, let's say. And I knew that I wanted to do business, originally business fashion. So I was shooting on Dream School, NYU, being in New York City, and end up getting waitlisted, but knew about Babson as a family member. Their cousin went to Babson, but we weren't close. It was just like during COVID 2020. My mom showing me Babson and me being like, let me just apply, but never like talking with anybody, like visiting the school, driving through. That's it. And then I apply. NYU falls through and I get a full ride scholarship to Babson. So I'm like, okay, why not? And then I commit. And then is when I do like more of my research and then go obviously to the school and talk with everybody. And they say, like, you could do business fashion here. So many students have done it before you. It's definitely feasible. And I still didn't understand the energy of the school though, because it was just like just conversations. And then once I got there, the first semester, I was like, this is the perfect place for me. Like I couldn't see myself anywhere else. So even though I grew up in New Jersey, Boston, I was so familiar with, it was that perfect, like I have this new environment, but it's not completely new where it was just like hard to adjust.
Hmm. Yeah, totally makes
Hmm.
sense.
Hmm.
Um, so just out of curiosity, did Babson like spark your entrepreneurial spirit, or
Um,
did you like always kind of know that you wanted to do your own thing? Or
yeah.
did you kind of get to Babson and then realize that?
Yeah. I always had dreams of doing my own thing, but they felt more like dreams than a mission that I was on. Just something that I would always be like, oh, I would love to. And again, going back to fashion. So that was like always in a sense like my dream. And that going to Babson, I did have the opportunity to do that my freshman and sophomore year. I did fashion internships my sophomore year working at Jimmy Choo, feeling like, wow, I made it. I have like this opportunity of a lifetime. Like, this is it, I'm set, and still not have gone into entrepreneurship yet, in a sense. So, even though Interlix was founded, I didn't wear the founder hat till after my experience doing what was quote unquote my dream. And realizing this isn't for me. I love the fashion world, but I have like a something that's like my talent, which I feel like is sales and talking with people and kind of like building where there's no rules in a sense, where you're figuring everything out day by day. That environment I thrived in, but I just didn't realize it. But I had
Hmm.
the opportunity because of Babson to pursue both. And that's what I think is amazing because if I never went to Babson, I wouldn't have the opportunity to have done fashion in any capacity and have always wondered. But at least I did, and especially early on, which I definitely recommend everybody. I always say, like, do it as fast as possible, whatever you think that is, because then you can realize yes or no. Because if you wait till, imagine me doing it now and realizing, and then you have to survive, you can't make that change so easily.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's something they hammer home here at Babson is like finding out you don't like something is just as valuable as finding out you do like
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool to see that like in real time with you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, exactly. So even though Interlix was founded in 2022 at the end of the fall semester, I was the one who took it off the ground floor, making it a full-fledged business, bringing in the clients, but not being like, hey, I'm gonna go all in yet because I still have this potential dream opportunity. So I got in a sense to do both, test the waters, and then once I explored the world of entrepreneurship at Babson, I was just like, wow, like it's endless opportunities. Like people want to help you. So many students come from family businesses and build empires. So why can't I? Just because maybe I don't come from that doesn't mean I can't build it. So yes, once I got to Babson, I did have that like spark, I would say.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
love it. Just you touched on Interlix, and we're
Mhm.
gonna get in the weeds there, but just
Uh-huh.
before to stay on the Babson theme, can you tell us a little bit about how you were a speaker at the Babson graduation and what that
Yeah.
meant to you and to represent your class?
Yeah.
Just how
Of
that went.
Of course. So that was a goal of mine. I spoke with Charlie a few months ago about it, but a
Mhm.
goal of mine since I would say like end of sophomore year going into junior year, I was like, I want to do this. Like I just have such a like feeling about it, but I didn't know, okay, how? Like the same thing, like
Hmm.
Charlie was just like, okay, like how? So then I
Yeah.
was like talking with people, talking with professors. I was like, how do I apply? How do people get chosen? What's the process? So like junior year, I was like already talking and planning and already having an idea of what I wanted to say. Of course, I didn't know if I was going to get it or not. But the reason why I wanted to is because I feel like I got so lucky being at Babson. Again, full ride scholarship, having the opportunities of a lifetime, then to build a business and actually make revenue from it and not having any connections is just like, wow. The more I talk with alumni, I was just like, they would tell me like what you're doing is so phenomenal so early on. I was like, I feel like I have a story to share. So I was so inspired to. And that's kind of what motivated me to apply and want to give the speech, I would say. And I feel like I just like loved my time there and just meeting people from all over the world that truly opened my eyes to the possibility of a life you could have. It just doesn't have to be a dream. It could be reality.
That's awesome. That's super cool.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and it was really inspiring to me, especially because I think I had a class with you. It was like my first class
Yeah.
freshman year we had together.
I thought you
And
were
then,
also, Charlie, I told you this, I think, before. I thought you were in my grade this whole
yeah,
time too,
yeah, yeah,
which is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I was the year below. And it was really cool to see like one of my classmates like that I know giving the
Uh-huh.
speech because it's like someone who's like just like me I had class with.
Yeah.
So that was really cool and inspiring. But switching gears a little bit to talk more about your staffing company. So um we know you founded Interlix, you're co-founder, CEO now.
Mhm.
Um and I kind of just want to touch on like what is staffing and like how
Mhm.
does that whole world work? Because
Mhm.
I think I kind of know, but I also don't really know. So if
Yeah.
you could kind of explain that,
Of
that'd be great.
course. Of course. I would say you're always learning every day. Like you could have such an idea of something, and this is no matter what you guys do, but then once you're in the weeds of it, you're like, damn, you become an expert, I would say. But
Yeah.
staffing, what we do, and the foundation of our business is actually recruiting remote professionals based out of Latin America and connecting them to US based companies. That's still that idea of like if you're hiring from the Philippines or Pakistan or India, but where we wanted to change things is we're like, hey, Latin America could be such a good talent hub if you want to hire overseas. Also, if you want to be cost effective, but we're like, hey, we went to Babson. We know there's great talent over there. We know that there's multinational companies over there. So let's change this narrative that oh, it's just hiring a VA or someone entry level admin, cheap work. Like we don't brand ourselves as a cost effective solution. We're a quality provider, and with hiring through Latin America, you're going to pay 50% less than an annual salary here in the United States, but our talent is comparable. That's our value, but I don't
Hmm.
do the recruitment. My team that we had hired are full-fledged recruiters in Latin America that have years of experience, obviously. But I think what me and my co-founder Sebastian, how we run our company with the same standards of US talent because we know we've been through recruiting process ourselves when we've applied to jobs. And we know our friends and peers that have gone through, let's say, multiple rounds of interviews and what a perfect resume looks like at the top. So it's like we can implement these things in our company and still provide the best. So that's in a sense the type of recruitment that we do. It's completely remote, but we handle payroll. So we pay the professionals in Latin America as well. And then for the client in the US, they're working with a service-based provider, which is also a plus because the typical overhead of employee taxes and things like that, you don't have to pay for when hiring through Interlix.
That's really interesting and a super cool niche that you found.
Mhm.
Um, just as far as our viewers go, we have a lot of students that watch this podcast. So,
Mhm.
is there some secret sauce that you could give the viewers about some things that stand out in the hiring process?
Yeah, I would say first LinkedIn. Like we talk about this all the time. Like my team is like first they check the LinkedIn before they check the resume because it shows that you're active, that you're doing extracurriculars, you're meeting with people, you're networking, you're building your online resume essentially. So for us, having a polished LinkedIn is key and also sharing thought posts or doing certifications or extra bonuses that make you stand out versus just, this is my black and white resume. I've done 2 internships, but very basic, as well as obviously you can use AI to your benefit and make your life easier, but we still want to hear from you, the person, and like your personality. We want to see that come out. So I would say those 2 things are ultra important. And then making sure, obviously, that you're following up, you're fast at responding to any recruiter. If you're super interested in the position, like they want to see that, and they do by how you respond. As well as anything you do virtual, still take it with the same respect that you would in person. Showing up, good lighting, a good outfit, blazer, whatever. So those are just like more little tips and tricks that definitely make our talent stand out, I would say.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure. And I like how all those are
Mhm.
like pretty applicable to like people
Mhm.
and they can make those changes.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
s- so just out of curiosity, because me and Spiro, we both kind of have our own things going on along with
Mhm.
Babson, like, including the podcast, including our side businesses and stuff.
Yeah.
So I want to know how you managed to be a student, because you said you founded Interlix in 2022,
Mhm.
being a full-time student, balancing having a real startup, and just time management and like what all of that looked like.
Yeah. So I would say my social life was pretty minimal, I would say, which I was fine with because I just loved what I did and I found that fun. I felt connecting with alumni. Oh, guys, I'm going into Boston. I'm meeting with an alumni. This might turn into a deal. Like that was my Friday or my Thursday night, I would say. And then also just being in environments that supported what I do, which let's say it be a class I take, the professor understanding my work, even me being supportive of it, telling me to teach it and share it to the class, or to connect me with a past student that they had that would be a great network. Shout out Professor Vinny, Len Green, also was both 2 super supportive professors, Joel Schulman as well. And then I worked in the alumni office and at the Digital Engagement Center, which used to be Phonathon. And both places of work, I could also work on my business. So I was very like strategic about that and just sometimes saying no to things that just won't add value um, to what I want to do, and especially if you're super serious and want to take it post grad. Because if I didn't give it my all while I was still a student, I couldn't do it after I graduated, which would be like so hard.
Makes
Mhm.
a lot of
Yeah.
sense. A lot of sacrifice it sounds like, but
Hmm.
it obviously paid off very well. Um, I guess my next question is a little bit about your social media, and
Hmm.
Charlie mentioned it in the beginning of the podcast, but how do you have such a large following on social media, and does that translate, or
Yeah.
I'm sure it does, to the success of your business, but how does it translate?
Uh-huh. So that I wish my co-founder, who's also a Babson alumni, he graduated in 2023. He was the one that had the whole initiative with content creating. At first, I was super like, no, I don't want to be an influencer. Like, I just was like, no, that's not for me. I didn't think I had it in me, to be honest. And then he met with someone who was already doing it last year, let's say in November. And he was sending me his videos. He's like, you're gonna do this. I'm like, we'll see about that. But then winter break comes, film, create script, post, see what happens. And LinkedIn in 2025 early first quarter was pushing the videos. So they were getting crazy amounts of views because they were figuring out the algorithm and how they wanted to brand LinkedIn video and content creating. And then from there, people really liked what I had to say. And I was still me, where I was like, hey, this may be controversial, but this is my opinion, whether it was about sales, staffing, entrepreneurship, networking, things that I could speak on that I had experience with. Hey, let me show you guys how I cold call. Like, let's post live cold calls. People love that. People love seeing like as real actionable steps, like you guys said. And also even the lows, like sharing like horrible client story. I got scammed out of X amount. Like, yeah, it hurt, but
Hmm.
hey, let me see if this can resonate with people. And then to your next question, how has it helped with the business? It's built like a brand and it's built trust with clients where they're like, hey, when I'm reaching out or when someone else from the team is reaching out, oh, you're real. You're not, this doesn't feel like, hey, a scam, even though your business is young. I see you've been posting, you have traction, people like you. Okay, let's talk. And then I used Babson to my advantage. My first clients were Babson alumni. Guys, I have to find the website. There's a website that has the Babson businesses. I cold called them, like every single
Wow,
one of them. So all of that mixed together with determination every day is how I'm, I guess, here doing it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Yeah.
So my next kind of follow-up question to that is like, did you double down on LinkedIn on purpose, like for
Mhm.
business purposes, or was it kind of like that's the first one that took off because they were pushing those videos and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, this is getting views, let me just do more of this, or was it
Yeah.
kind of intentional?
It was, I would say it was both because I was already getting my clients through LinkedIn even before the
Mm,
video. So I was like, okay, I know now what works on LinkedIn is videos, plus I'm doing all my outreach outbound on LinkedIn. I'm like, we have to go even harder on it. And then, like, every time me and my co-founder would see each other, we would have enough content already pre-planned so we could consistently post. And before it used to be 3 posts a week. Then it became 5 posts a week, like 2 photos, 3 videos. And it's the type of work that you do that you don't see the instant client from it. You see it in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. So it's a long-term investment. And now for me, because I know it happens, it's just like easy. It's a no-brainer.
yeah, and coming from someone who does a lot of social media stuff, because I manage a bunch of
Mhm.
creators,
Mhm.
um, that's kind of a crazy posting schedule. Did you ever get like
Mhm.
burnt out from that?
I feel like it's just so part of the routine because we have filming days. Because I couldn't breathe doing a video day by day. No, I have to
Yeah.
do it like once a week, 3 hours or 4 hours blocked out the day before I already have my scripts done. So it's like weekly filming, but done in a way that's like smart and effective. And that's what you guys will learn as you continue to grow your entrepreneurial career, how to be effective with time, because you could get a lot done in a short amount of time or do it smartly instead of doing it every day.
Hmm. Yeah, that's what I tell a lot of my creators. I'm like, time block, time block,
Yeah,
time block. It's like a
exactly.
lifesaver. And like if you batch create stuff, it's so
Yeah,
much easier than you can have it in your drafts to post
yeah,
instead of doing it every day.
yeah. No, exactly. A
Time
hundred
management,
percent.
it's something I need to work on, but I'm getting there. I appreciate the
Yeah,
advice.
yeah.
My next question is going to be about your recently I saw on LinkedIn, I guess we're talking about LinkedIn a lot
Mhm,
here, but you were on a billboard in New York
mhm,
City. Can you tell us
mhm.
how that happened, number one, and how does that feel to be on a
Yeah,
billboard in New York City? I mean, that's
yeah.
incredible.
So no, definitely. So we actually posted a video sharing like the secret about this billboard, but what people don't know and what we shared in the video was that really anybody, if they're willing to pay, can be on a billboard in Times Square. And it's not these crazy prices as we think, because if you pay for like a short amount of time per hour, it's more feasible. So we're like, hey, it's the end of the year. We know where taxes are coming up. We got to have our marketing budget cut here. So we're like, okay, what's something cool we could do that's going to be very smart on the content side? So it's like, we're in New York, let's do a Times Square advertisement. So it wasn't for the people in Times Square at all because everybody, you know how it is in their own world.
Yeah.
But it was for all the videos that we posted after on TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, the whole thing. So for me, it was like seeing it and seeing at how everybody reacted was like, wow, like this is amazing. It's perfect. It's even after that, inbound leads, they were like, oh, I didn't realize you were in New York. I grew up in New York. Let's book a call. Stuff like that,
Hmm.
like little things like that. So it was just so smart. But I will say, guys, it was freezing outside that day. And how it works is that it runs like every like, let's say at every 25 minutes for 60 seconds at every hour. So I had to be like getting my shot, my video clip, like having us all get our professional photos like so quick, but it was such a fun experience, I would say. So always think of how you can position yourself as bigger and better because that's how you actually get there.
Hmm. Exactly. And that's like such a good, like, just natural hook for people. Like they see you
Yeah.
on a billboard and you're in front of it. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, wow, this is interesting. And it also just makes you seem a lot more like validated too.
Exactly. 100%.
That's super smart.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so one of the last questions we kind of have here is more of like being a founder of a startup,
Hmm.
and kind of like what does life look like for you right now? Like the long
Hmm.
hours, because I'm sure like people see you on a billboard, they're like, oh my gosh, that's great. Like I would love to be
Yeah.
on a billboard someday, but I'm sure not a lot of people understand the behind the scenes of what it takes to
Yeah.
actually be a founder of a startup. So if
Yeah.
you could give us some insight there, that'd be great.
Of course. So I think like having the right team, I wouldn't be here. Sebastian, I don't know. Charlie, I don't know if you saw my team in the summer actually when we were working in Horn.
I did. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did
so
all the time because that'd be
yeah,
second floor. You guys would usually be
exactly.
first floor.
Yeah, yeah. So we are like all three of us is like the founding team and Sebastian did this like right after he graduated in 2023. I was still lucky to be at Babson, be a student and have that like cushion in a sense, but he was the one that was so determined. He was sleeping on friends' couches, still staying in the Boston area to make it work for us to be in the same city instead of going back to New York and like to keep pursuing it and like not be like, okay, I'm just gonna give up and go corporate. And thank God he did, because that's why we're here today. So I think making sure you find the right people, because there were other friends that joined, there were stories, but the ones who stayed are the ones who we saw it through and we believed in it. And even though we weren't getting the results the first year, year and a half, 2 years, you keep going because you get that little bit of momentum. So I think having the right team is key. But also that also adds to it when it's like the long days when you have the right team and everybody's like, we're friends. So you can make it a little more fun, but being like, hey, this we have to lock in. This is serious. This is all of our lives because there is no like second option, let's say. And then also I've been so lucky to find like other mentors who have done it before me. And I'll also shout out Rootless Social, which is a social community that me and my mentor, who's now my co-founder, built. And with her help and like monthly coffee chats, it's just like you can get through this. So I think those things are key. And then I think my last tip is just like I take my health super seriously. So above all, I'm like, okay, I could sacrifice that, but if you don't show up and feel your best, like you're like going to war. I literally say when you're building a business, so you have to train to be your best self mentally and physically. So if that means waking up
Mhm.
earlier to go to the gym, having a good diet to perform your best. So
Yep,
those are
100%.
those are my tips and tricks, but I'm still figuring it out. I have my like 30-day New Year's resolution. I'm not perfect. I have my like notebook trying to, but every day, even if I don't get it today, I'll try tomorrow.
Mhm. Yeah, and funny story. I remember one day in the summer, I was on the second floor.
Uh-huh.
I think my headphones died. 'Cause usually I have headphones in,
Yeah.
so I can't hear anything. And you were on the floor below me, and
Uh-huh.
I think I heard you rehearse the same script. Or I don't know if you were leaving voice messages,
Yeah.
like over 100 times. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm
I'm
so
thinking in the back
sorry.
of my head, no, no,
Yeah.
no. It was
Yeah.
awesome. Like I'm like, she is a machine. Just keeps
Yeah.
going at it.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show the
Yeah.
insane dedication you have. So I thought that
Yeah.
was funny.
No, no, that's so, oh my God, I'm like, I feel so bad. I should have gotten in a room. That's my sign next time. Book a room. Book a room. Yeah.
Well, this was super inspiring, and I think Charlie and I both learned a lot, and I know our viewers will too. We really appreciate that you came on the podcast. I know you're very busy. Last question. If anyone wants to find you or reach out
Mhm.
to you, where can they find you? How can they get in touch and shout
Yeah.
out your company?
Yeah, so everything I would say if anybody wants to find me on LinkedIn, Sheikha Al-Otaibi, just connect with me, send me an email, direct message. Also my Instagram, Sheikha Sales. It's my business Instagram, or if you have me on personal, would be happy to chat, coffee chat. I'm gonna be actually coming back to Babson next Wednesday. I'm hosting an event with Babson in downtown Boston. Would love for you guys to be there.
Oh, wow.
Hey,
So it's going to be with the PEVC community in Boston as well as the grad students. And then the first week of February, I'm going to be in Boston the whole week in Babson actually. So I'm going to be like doing meetings and stuff. So happy to do anything in person, coffee chats, tate on me. Just let me know.
Amazing. Thank you
nice.
so much again. We really appreciate
Yes.
it. This was
Yes.
awesome.
Mhm. Thank you.
Thank you.